comeback season. This is Drake getting real serious here. He's got he's wearing a pea coat like he's getting sworn into office. He really came back with this cover art. It was a season for comebacks, I heard. We got Drake cut out in black, so there's a black bar here and then they cut the letters Drake out of it. You know, he's trying to take himself more serious. This is an expensive photo. This is an expensive photo for sure. It looks like the ad to a dentist office. Like if he was smiling and he had like a new set of teeth, or it's like a Christmas card from a single guy who just got into law school at like age 25. I don't know what this is. I don't know what he was thinking. It's not of the times. I think maybe he was trying to be more classy and serious because Room for Improvement was a very mixtape cover. So comeback season, not a mixtape cover. This is more like the cover to like a book of poems, but a self-published book of poems. So I'm gonna give comeback season a solid D tier. All right, everybody, it is just straight up extremely cold in here. So I am recording with my ski mask and jacket on. Let me check what I put in the script here. I wrote, Drake's music hasn't always been about recycling tired one-liners and putting in bare minimum effort like a middle-aged high school math teacher. And the same goes for his album covers. So let's start from the beginning, figure out what makes the good ones good, the bad ones bad, and rank them all from worst to best. Actually, no, this is a tier list, but it's close enough.
If you're a more dedicated viewer, interested in the version of this video with every Drake mixtape, every album, and every compilation that I wasn't able to put on YouTube, I highly recommend you check out Curiosity Stream with Nebula at curiositystream.com/Volksy for 42% off at just $11.59 for the entire year. That's curiositystream.com/Volksy.
Okay, next project. Take Care. This is a big boy. This is a serious album. You know, they're going to use a real photo. This is from a shoot that they did for the cover. This was done with a makeup artist. This was done with a costume designer. Someone did his hair. They had lighting and props. Like, they paid for this. You know what I mean? This is like the first cover that it looks like he actually might have paid more than $50 to make. And a lot of people say this is one of Drake's most iconic albums. This is his most genuine work. So what is really going on in this cover art? We've got some ass up here in the corner on a beach or something. I'm really not sure what this painting actually is supposed to represent. We got this tall ass candle in a like gold candlestick. It looks like he's got like, this is not sitting on a table. This is sitting on like a velvet tablecloth or something. He's wearing like these crazy like mafia rings and jewelry. What's with the goblet? He couldn't just hold it like a glass? Like why does it look like he's on the set of like an 80s Frankenstein movie? He's got these old ass paintings, these big frames. He's sitting with this velvet tablecloth. He's got a giant fucking candle with this huge gold candlestick. This weird owl thing. It's not the OVO owl, it's just a gold owl. He's got this cup. This is like some like Indiana Jones cup. Like he's about to drink from this shit and turn into a baby or something. I genuinely don't understand what he's doing in this cover. Is this where he lives? Is this a restaurant? Is this his castle or like his dungeon or something? Like, it's a well shot cover, but it's very strange. So just honestly, I'm gonna have to give Take Care like a B because I don't understand it, but it looks good. I don't get what this is, but it's fine. You know, it's fine. I can't complain. This is Nothing Was the Same. This is one of Drake's most well-loved albums, one of the most recognizable covers from the 2010s. Even though it's an homage to something else, this ended up being a super popular cover. Like this was just, there was fan art of this everywhere for like 5 or 6 years after the record dropped. It's a pretty simple thing. Again, this is like Drake is getting into the stage of his career where he can actually pay for the cover art. He can afford to hire someone to make it for him so he doesn't have to go into Photoshop and be like, go caveman Drake, how do I use computer mouse? This was painted by an artist and Drake paid for it. Even though this doesn't look bad, it's like, why'd you have to do it in like that fucking Thomas Kincaid style, bro? Like the actual art style looks like something from the bathroom of an Olive Garden. But at the same time, it fits the sound of Nothing Was the Same. Nothing Was the Same was super easy to listen to. It's not a complicated sound. It's not like, and the cover art is kind of the same way. Like, this is another solid B. Actually, you know what? I don't know. Why am I ragging on this? I actually like this cover art. Hold on a second. I'm giving this an A because Nothing Was the Same was a pretty airy, calming, ambient project. So it is an A tier for me. Honestly, it's one of Drake's better covers. If you're reading this, It's Too Late is one of Drake's most well-known covers for sure. This was everywhere. The hands, the font, this got big. People were paying homage to this all the time. This was big in like Instagram, like Tumblr posts. The hands were everywhere. Like I really remember in 2015, 2016, those hands were all over the internet. I like this cover. It doesn't look like, oh, that's like cringy. That's embarrassing. It doesn't look oversaturated. When compared to all of Drake's other cover art, that's an S tier Drake cover art. And here we have Views. Probably one of my favorite Drake albums. I know that this thing, a lot of people say Views was boring, Views was sleepy, Views was not inventive. This is when Drake fell off, but I love this album. I think it's super atmospheric. I look back on it really fondly, but there's like a good part of this cover art. There's a bad part. This is a great shot. This shot of the tower is well exposed, well composed. It looks really good, super detailed. The Drake Photoshop is not bad either. Like, this is a huge improvement on room for improvement. He's come a long way because it actually kind of looks like he's sitting there. He's definitely not, because someone did the math. He would have to be like 20 feet tall to be this big. And that kind of makes it ridiculous. Like, that kind of takes me out of it. But at the same time, he's small enough that you don't really see him. This isn't a bad concept. It's actually like a pretty decent idea for an album cover. I like it. For me, Views is like A tier. If he found a less corny way to put himself on the cover, maybe if he didn't put himself on it at all, it could be S tier, but no, that's A tier for me. Okay, so far we've got, if you're reading this, is too late, S tier, 2 A tiers, 1 B, no C tiers. Funny enough, What a Time to Be Alive, solid C tier. I would like if they had some like shadow in here, some sort of variety, some sort of color. I've never liked listening to this album just because I think the cover art is super mid. So for me, it's like C tier, solid C. Next up in Drake's career, we have More Life. I think the cover art for More Life is very good, but what I really like about this cover art is Drake's dad. We've got Drake's dad looking like Drake. I think that's the whole point, is they look very similar. It's like the perfect cover for a mixtape. Like, I think this is a very, very good cover. I would give this, A or B. I don't know. It's better than Take Care. It's an A tier. That's a solid A tier cover. Scorpion, Drake's biggest flop. Aubrey Graham's Scorpion 2018. He spent a lot of money on this album. God's Plan, huge song. Big project for Drake. A lot of housekeeping. A lot of things to say. 3 songs on this album I would ever listen to completion. What do we have? We've got 2-point lighting, I guess. No, maybe is this like 3-point? You got light here, got a light on his face, got the hair light coming in here, making his ears look all like fucking Batman. I get it. It's a very 80s Barbra Streisand type beat. It's like an Elton John album cover. He just looks, like Drake. Nothing wrong with that, but it fits Scorpion, because Scorpion was very self-indulgent and goofy. So this cover art really does fit him. It does look like something you'd pick this up in like the bottom vinyl bin at like Goodwill, and it would be like $1.50, and then it would just be some like Barbra Streisand album. It's worse than Take Care and Dark Lane demo tapes. Scorpion is like a C for me. It's just kind of goofy. Okay, we've come to the last album on the list. This is Certified Lover Boy. Certified Lover Boy was a very expensive cover. It was made by a very big name artist, which is kind of a first for Drake. As far as I know, he hasn't really ever worked with famous photographers or artists to do these covers. I'm sure they were all very good at what they do, because a lot of these are great covers, but it hasn't been like, oh, Drake is collaborating with a high-profile painter or photographer. Like Travis Scott did with David LaChapelle, Kanye does with Murakami. Drake hasn't really done anything like that yet, so it's kind of big that Drake would pick a big-name artist for the first time in his career to do some cover art. But why the fuck did he do it like this? It's just emojis. You have 2, 3, 4 times. You got 12 pregnant emojis on a white background. Why? What was the point of this? I don't understand. Maybe I do. Maybe this is deep. Is it? Let me listen to the album. So, do I get why he did it like this? Look, I'm not in Drake's head. I'm not in the designer's head. This feels very postmodern pop art. Like, we're not going to put in effort, but you're going to look at it anyway, and you're going to talk about it anyway, and you're going to talk about how we didn't put in effort, and that's going to be the whole point. I don't really like that sort of design philosophy. I would have preferred something a little more thoughtful, but I'm not going to lie. There's nothing else that would have fit Certified Lover Boy. It's a very bland and personality-less project. It's not that interesting of an album, and it fits. Drake is talking about his many women, all the women he impregnates all the time. It fits the blandness and one-track storytelling of the record, despite me thinking it's ugly. It's not a C tier. Is it a B tier? Oh my God, I don't know. Because it is in that camp of Drake album covers that took 20 minutes to make. This is a C. This is not a D. This is a C tier. It's not that bad, but it could have been way better. Okay, that's every album.
When I first wrote this video, I wanted to make it even longer and more detailed by including all of Drake's cover art as well as even more commentary about each of them. But because of YouTube's algorithm and copyright system, that turned out impossible. But if you're a more technical person who's interested in more detailed breakdowns as well as all my other exclusive content, you'll have to check out this video's sponsor, CuriosityStream with Nebula.
Nebula is the platform for independent creators, and we now have over 400,000 users. And thanks to our sponsor, CuriosityStream, you can get Nebula and CuriosityStream bundled together for just $11.59 for the entire year. Nebula is home to creators like Polyphonic, Middle 8, MKBHD, FD Signifier, Legal Eagle, Wendover Productions, and over 125 more. We founded the platform to pursue creative freedom away from the limitations of places like YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. And I personally upload exclusive cuts of almost every single video I make, whether it's behind the scenes editing breakdowns, completely separate companion videos to add on to my main work, or just extended versions of my videos with content that I literally couldn't put on YouTube. Now, I also have to thank CuriosityStream, this video's sponsor. They have an amazing service with thousands of high-quality documentaries about science, history, culture, music, and more, including their brand new documentary about Mr. Beast that tells the story of how he became the biggest YouTuber of all time through his love for helping people and making videos. So go check out my content the way it was made to be watched, with exclusive cuts, companion videos, and editing breakdowns, and help support my mission of making the highest quality music commentary on the entire internet. That's curiositystream.com/Volksy for Nebula plus CuriosityStream bundled together at just $11.59 for the entire year. Clicking on the link below really helps out my channel.